going to come up on Camtasia. So it's a wonderful resource. So here we are. We're going to go to Blackboard. Some people had trouble getting to the digital Dropbox. Is that true? Or didn't really work for them. So we'll figure that out. Here it is here. And the digital Dropbox on my machine, yours is Course Tools. I use the control panel, and I just go to the digital Dropbox here, and we can see that we have some stuff that's been put in, some files. Let's take a look at some of these. We'll start from the bottom here. So I can open this up as a PDF, as it's put in as a PDF, and then I can start critiquing it. So if no one has done this already, if you haven't done this, I don't see everybody's file in here. So we need to have the file in today, at least the contact print. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick edit on this and discuss quickly how I really like how he put the protocol, the naming protocol in the images themselves. So I can kind of trace it and tell him which one I think. So what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for an image that moves me emotionally and intellectually, that is somehow I focus on it. I get a sense of what that idea or concept's about. And hands, as I mentioned, is pretty subjective, so we have a lot of flexibility and leeway in terms of how we evaluate it. Sometimes the images are too ambiguous for us to really evaluate. And when I look at these images, can you see them okay? Is that all right? Maybe I can make them a little bit bigger here, just so you can see them. And we'll do them one by one. That's why I like PDFs. You mentioned the size of the images being small, but on this, I can bring this thing up and we can see it. And we can scroll right through. So the reason why I would like an image like this is that it's expressive. I don't know what this device is here. It looks like a little flashlight. Is that correct? It's a lighter. Oh, there's the, okay. So it is a little, what would make that flame stand out more? A darker background. So immediately, I'm looking at the attributes of the picture and I'm saying, well, if you had a darker background, what would that image look like? Well, it would be much more emphatic, much more readable, clearer, less ambiguity, right? However, if it was a black background, chances are that the hand would be also dark. So you'd have to figure out that lighting ratio to make that thing stand out. Also, one of the things that I look for is the real telltale sign for a good picture is how people use the background, not the foreground. If you can be aware or conscious of your background, then you're going to have a good image. There's two types of background. A clear background that doesn't compete with the foreground information, or a contributing background which supports the foreground, the main dominant part of the picture, but is not competing with it, does not take away from it. So, we know the example of the guy standing in the main subject standing there, and he's got a telephone pole coming out of his head, looks like Rudolph, right? So that's really clear, right? The first thing that I'd like to emphasize is that you as a photographer, become aware of your foreground and background. Those two things, the relationship between foreground and background. It's either clear or contributing, and you should be able to identify whether it's clear or contributing without much problem. So